Hey everyone, thank you for joining another episode of Primary Market Chatter. This is like our third month episode. We are completing 3 months with this. But yeah, just to repeat for everyone who has joined us for the first time, हम क्या करते हैं कि we try and talk about the companies which are coming in live in this week and talk about their fundamentals with respect to how we are finding the companies and their valuation, their vision, what they are planning to do with their IPO, etc. So for this episode, we have like again this is the time when we have a lot of IPOs, but not a lot of them are big IPOs or anything which is big because what I've seen is especially during these Pitrabaksh days when not a lot of people do auspicious work, so even the size or the number of IPOs also reduced. So it seems that there are few issues, but almost all of them are smaller size issues. So we'll talk about them. We'll do part two parts of this. We'll do 6 companies today and then 7 companies today and the remaining companies in part two. We'll try and do part two on Monday or Tuesday. We'll plan about when part two is coming. But yeah, for today, let me set up the agenda. Before that, just want to highlight we are not SEBI registered research analyst. So it's just our read. ये जो read है ये बस हमारी है. So definitely take your due diligence, understand about the company, read about it yourself, and do not go blindly by what we are saying. Having said that, we'll be covering 7 companies today, one Mainboard, Manba Finance, and then 6 SMEs. Kalana Ispat, SD Retail, Avi Ansh, Phoenix Overseas, Wool 3D, and Rapid Walls. We'll start with a SME company, SD Retail, Sweet Dreams, and then probably go to some of the Mainboard as well as other SMEs as well. I'm just trying to see where Yash and Tanmay will probably be joining slightly late. Yash is having some technical difficulty, so maybe we will start. एक बार Sweet Dreams की बात करते हैं. Just to set it up for Rohit, it's a big size issue and it's something which was one of the most highlight issues of this week. There are 2-3 good issues. This seemed like a company which was decent. It's a 65 CR issue and the company manufactures sleepwear brands and has different ODOs, outlets for sleepwear clothes, etc. So maybe, Rohit, do you want to go ahead and talk about Sweet Dreams?
Yes, Manish. Let me take it from here. So SD Retail, as Manish said, is a 65 crore issue. They are a fashion retail brand in the sleepwear category. So they sell Sweet Dreams as the brand. Sleepwear category is basically the category of what you wear between 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. So things like pajamas, night suits, very comfortable shirts, those kind of products is what they focus on. They've been in business for almost 30 years, but it looks like, the business may be improving or turning a corner now, which is why they've come to raise the IPO and why they sort of want funds to expand the business. They sell their products across many channels, so it's quite diversified that way. So they sell it across their own brand outlets, or EBOs as they call it, which is today still a small percentage of the business. Only about 10 crore of their 160 crore comes from here. They sell in large format stores, think of places like a Shoppers Stop and so on. They sell in multi-brand outlets as well. That's the largest part of their business. That's about 100 crore of their business. And then they've recently also, you can see a lot of push online. This is probably the fastest growing segment seems to be online for them, where they sell about 27 crore revenue. And that's all, I think it's more than doubled last year. But one thing is most of their business is still actually B2B, which is they are selling to the platform or to the partner or to the MBO or whoever, that distributor. And then that distributor then sells it on to the customer. So they don't have much of a direct touch point with the customer except for their own EBOs, which is company-owned, company-operated EBOs, and some stuff that they sell from their website. So actually less than 5% of their business is B2C. Most of it is a B2B2C kind of model. They're raising their funds to set up another 60 odd new EBOs, plus another 30 they're saying they will do with their own internal accruals. But one thing to remember is this EBO format, these are very, very small format, sort of, they're like kiosks. So one EBO does 50 60 lakhs a year, which is 4-5 lakhs a month, which is not much, which you can imagine is, 40, 50 units a month. So they're going to add, say, 60 new EBOs, up to 90 EBOs over the next 2 years, but all of that together will add maybe 40, 45 crore to their top line. Their numbers also, if you see, are reflective of a B2B business, not really a brand yet, because they have fairly low gross margins, low EBITDAs, PAT margin is like 4%. If you compare this with an actual D2C brand like a Go Colors, which has its own point of sale. They have very high margins because people now associate that category with Go Colors. Go Colors will have a 35% EBITDA versus these guys have a 7-8% EBITDA. So I think it's a little unfair to compare these two, but of course these are small. This is a small business. They're now slowly starting to grow. Top line, they did about 160 crore last year, which is a 20% year-on-year growth, with about 8 crore PAT, so about 4.5% PAT. Cash flows are okay. I didn't think their balance sheet was that great. Cash flows are negative. There's been a huge spike in receivables. Almost half of their revenue is actually stuck in receivables. There is also one risk where there is an NCLT case by a creditor that was filed in 2020. And I mean, I don't think this will really lead to anything. Generally, these things get settled out of court. But if it does get admitted, then the company may be forced to become insolvent. So anyway, I don't think it's a real risk, but it was literally the first risk that they put in their document. So we should definitely be aware of it. But I think it should not be a going concern. So overall, for me, the biz looked okay to me. The anchors are good. The way to look at this, in my view, is, are we catching a tailwind? Is there a reason to believe that sleepwear as a category will become a thing in India and people will want to buy and own a brand here? Remember, this is not a brands often work because there is a bragging right. You wear it in front of, you wear it in front of your friends see it, and then there is a sort of word of mouth that happens. Whereas a brand like this there is no word of mouth in a brand like this. So, there's no bragging right with this. So, I'm a little tentative to believe that there is actually a fundamental tailwind here, that sleepwear will become something. I think everyone here should form their own opinion on whether they feel sleepwear deserves a brand or not, and whether a brand like this can grow very fast. So yeah, that is my view. I think it's coming at a 32p. I really don't like the price. An example, recent listing was Forecast Apparel, very similar apparel brand. They just listed a few weeks ago. Honestly, with stronger numbers across the board, better margins, better growth. And today it is trading at 28p. And at 32p, I find this a little expensive. So yeah, so I think everyone should just make up their own mind. Do they believe in this business? Do they believe this will be a business that will grow? Even if you look at their own working capital calculation, they're projecting a 30% growth from this year to next year. So it's not an explosive growth kind of thing. If the market treats this as a brand, it will get a premium valuation. But if they sort of treat it like, say, another Forecast Apparels, it will not do well. So it could go either way. I'm personally a bit neutral on this. It's also a very large size issue, but that's my personal read. You guys should make up your own mind.
Thanks, Rohit. I had also read about the company, couple of things from my end on this. I agree with you, but I have seen, at least from my limited experience, sleepwear has been increasing quite a bit of late. Like, there are a lot of people who are interested in buying matching co-org set, and all of those things are essentially something which has been increasing in the market. But I agree with you that how does this become a brand is slightly of a question. But उसके अलावा एक दो चीजें जो मैं और देख रहा था बिजनेस के बारे में, स्वीट ड्रीम्स जो उनका लोगो है, जो ट्रेडमार्क है, that was essentially contested. So if they lose that becomes a problem, especially because with brands, their logo or what they're building on is their essentially IP. So if they kind of lose that becomes a concern. So that's one point from my side. Other than that, the second point I was seeing, it's the LM reputation. It's a Beeline issue, Beeline plus SpreadX, so which tends to have quite a bit repute in the market. So those were two additional points from my end. But yeah, Yash or Rohit, do you guys have anything to add on Sweet Dreams?
No.
I had seen the brand as the trademark issue. I think the trademark is contested by somebody in a different category. So I don't think it should be a problem. These usually get cleared. Unless it was someone else in the same sort of apparel category, then it would have been a problem. But I think it is someone in a furniture category or something. So yeah, that is one. See, I agree it is growing, but if you just look at their own numbers, last year they grew 20%. That is, this year they've grown 20%. The year before that, they've grown 5%. So it's not like this company is exploding. I've seen faster growing companies get poorer multiples. So again, some of these are very hard to say how exactly the market will view this. The bunch of people who like it, like the promoters. Promoters actually look very solid. Looks like a very professionally run company. So that is a positive. But yeah, it can go either way, is what I feel.
Can you talk a bit about how does it look like a professionally run company? Like, what did you see which made you say so?
I think some of this is just a read from the promoters, the passion, the sort of processes that they have set in place. This company has been around for quite some time, and it's like a steady sort of growing company. It doesn't look like there's nothing. I don't think they have done anything, any jhol jafla in the numbers. Like for example, the receivables thing, right? Like it is high, but it's a sort of common occurrence when you have a high when your business runs in a franchise or a distributor led model. So it is what it is. It's not like it. I didn't feel like the business was being fake to bring about a listing or something like that. So I felt that way everything looked clean. But just fundamentally, after all this, do you think that this is going to be a high growth, super high growth business? That is the thing that each person has to decide for themselves. And I didn't feel that.
Got it. Talking about the anchor list, quite a few names in the anchors. There are like 11 names. I've just opened the anchor list. Nev Capital is there, North Star Opportunities is there, and then quite a few anchors with different allocation. But yeah, what I've seen is again, fundamentally anchors can add as an additional point or a how do you call it, validation, but it can't really be a reason for applying in the first place. Not that I'm saying this is a bad anchor list or a good anchor list, but just
No.
generally, anchor list can act as a validation, not as the sole point. So that's why
Yeah,
maybe
I think anchor list is best to view as, see, for a lot of us, we don't get access to the promoters, or we don't get much access. Certainly very difficult to get one-to-one access, whereas the anchors 100% get access to the promoters. And if you have high quality anchors, I think that it speaks highly about the promoters. I think beyond that, I think it's difficult to take a read on, because we saw that say recently with Aeron Composites. It listed okay, it then went up, then came down. It had one of the best anchors, like two rockstar investors, made no difference. So I think just view it as a validation that the promoter quality is probably good, and over the long term, something like that will do well, but not necessarily that this will give you great listing gains.
100% agreed. So this was our read of SD Retail Sweet Dreams. We have covered the read of Sweet Dreams. Just for anyone who has joined us late, we will put this on YouTube as well, picture where you can listen to all the issues at your own leisure. I have pinned the YouTube link above. You can go ahead and follow the YouTube channel. इस पे जो भी पुराने IPOs हैं, at least the last 3 months, उसका भी हमने review डाल रखा है. With that, we'll move on to the next company. Maybe we'll do Kalana Ispat now. So it's a 32 CR issue from what I was seeing, and the company manufactures MS billets. जो rods and billets होती हैं, वो manufacture करती है. Interestingly, company कुछ solar plant वगैरह लगा रही है, which is the theme at least across these billet manufacturing companies. Last week जो आदित्य स्टील आई थी, उसमें भी कुछ similar story थी. I think I had covered Aditya Steel, so this time Yash is covering Kalana Ispat. So over to you, Yash.
Thank you, Manish. So I'll talk about Kalana Ispat. So the company is primarily engaged into selling MS billets, alloy steel billets, and of various grades. So they have two major segments. The one is sale of products, and the other is sale of services. They have MS billet, which is basically semi-finished raw, which are used by rolling mills. The other one is alloy steel billets, which are used into products like bar, rods, wire, etc. So as per the object of issue, they are raising, I think. So they are raising funds for installing solar power plant, which will cover 80 to 90% of their electricity charges. They have also acquired land for that, which is on lease. That is taken from lease with the other group company, where same promoter owns the company in LLP form with another guy, and rent, they'll give 70,000, 75,000 rent per month for that land. The another thing that they use these funds for is to expand their rolling mill, for setting up a rolling mill capacity, which will help them to uh, backward integrate their capacities. But I think that won't add much of a difference, because anyways their capacity utilization is at 78, 80%. Also, post issue, the PE is around 36, which is considered very, like, quite premium, given that all of the peers, which is Incredible Industries Limited and Gallant Ispat Limited, is trading at 28 to 20.5 P. So I think it is fully priced, and mostly we should avoid this, because लॉन्ग टर्म उतना ग्रोथ नहीं आ रहा है, नेगेटिव ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लोज है, कंसंट्रेशन बहुत होता है बिजनेस में, फ्रेगमेंटेड मार्केट है, नॉट अ नीश सेगमेंट कि कुछ अलग कर रहे हैं, बिजनेस में कोई मोट नहीं है, कोई भी काम कर सकता है, जिसके पास पैसा हो वो प्लान डाल दे, आउटपुट सेम ही आना है। ऊपर से इनके पास बार्गेनिंग पावर्स तो होती नहीं है इनके सप्लायर्स एंड इनके कस्टमर्स से, कस्टमर्स के पास इतने सारे ऑप्शंस हैं कि किसी से भी जाके करवा लो, तो आई डोंट थिंक इसमें कुछ बचा है हमारे लिए। ऑल्सो टॉप लाइन में डीग्रोथ हुआ है इनका, विच दे आर इटसेल्फ इज सेइंग कि प्राइजेस प्राइजेस उसके वजह से हुआ है, तो आई थिंक वी शुड अवॉइड दिस इशू। मोस्टली सब कुछ प्राइस कर रखा है एंड प्रीमियम पे ला रहे हैं, तो कुछ बचेगा नहीं, गवाने के लिए बहुत कुछ है।
Got it. Perfect. Sweet and short review. Maybe with that we'll move on to the next issue. Next कंपनी की बात करते हैं, एक अभी अंश करके कंपनी आ रही है, सो उसको कवर करेंगे और उसके बाद probably we'll go to मनबा. Again, अभी अंश should be very straightforward. छोटा सा रिव्यू करेंगे. It's a company which you should probably avoid. But at a very high level, the company manufactures and exports cotton yarn और फैब्रिक जो होती है उसमें कंपनी काम करती है. इनका पंजाब बेस्ड कंपनी है और डेरा बस्सी में एक प्लांट है, जिसमें अराउंड 4500 मेट्रिक टन का ये काम करते हैं कॉटन यार्न का एनुअली. कंपनी के पास कुछ आईएसओ सर्टिफिकेशन भी है, बट अगर हाई लेवल पे कंपनी की बात करें तो कंपनी ने दिखाया है मेनली कि ये फैब्रिक का काम भी करते हैं, बट जितना मैं देख रहा था मोस्टली कॉटन ही है, एंड कॉटन हैजंट बीन डूइंग वेरी वेल. एटलीस्ट द लास्ट फ्यू लिस्टिंग्स जो आप देखोगे ना कंपनी मार्केट में हुई हैं रिसेंटली ऑफ लेट, पायोटेक्स हो गया, गजानंद हो गया, यूनाइटेड कॉट फैब हो गया, कोई भी चली नहीं है. सो द मार्केट इज नॉट रेडी टू गिव एनी प्रीमियम टू these companies, and this seems like a similar issue. एंड जो कंपनी का मैं बात करूं तो कंपनी की काफी सारी इंटर पार्टी रिलेटेड ट्रांजेक्शंस भी हैं. जो इनका हाईएस्ट सप्लायर है, हाईएस्ट कस्टमर है, जो अराउंड 28% जो फिनिश प्रोडक्ट है वो लेता है, वो अभी अंश एंटरप्राइजेस प्राइवेट लिमिटेड है, जो इनकी खुद की रिलेटेड पार्टी ट्रांजैक्शन है. तो कंपनी में काफी सारे रिलेटेड पार्टी ट्रांजैक्शन है. अराउंड ट्रेड रिसीवेबल भी 4.5 सीआर से उठ के 11 सीआर हो गए इस टाइम में. सो कंपनी ऑलरेडी 92% कैपेसिटी पे ऑपरेट कर रही है, सो इट विल नीड कैपेसिटी एक्सपेंशन रियली सून. सो अगेन दैट हैविंग सेड दैट डजंट सीम लाइक अ बिजनेस which has any moat of any kind. It's just been running to कॉन्टेक्ट एक्सेट्रा. एंड अगर मैं बात करूं कि कंपनी किस प्राइसिंग पे आ रही है, तो कंपनी के अगर फाइनेंशियल्स की बात करूं तो काफी वेरीड बॉटम लाइन है. उनने FY21 में 70 लाख बनाए थे, 21 में 1.5 सीआर बनाया था, 22 में फिर 30 लाख ही बनाए थे, 24 में 3.3 सीआर बनाया है. अगर 3.3 सीआर भी मान लें तो कंपनी 86 सीआर की वैल्यूएशन पे आ रही है, तो अराउंड 26 पीई पे आ रही है, which again doesn't seem like leaving a lot on the table for new IPO investors. क्योंकि अगर आप देखोगे जो इनने अपने कंपैरेबल्स भी बताए हैं, वो भी अराउंड रफली मैक्सिमम इसी रेंज में ही ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं. जैसे कि आप देखोगे यूनाइटेड पॉलीफैब को इनने अपना कंपैरेबल बताया है, वो भी लगभग सेम रेंज में ही ऑपरेट कर रहा है. अराउंड 25 to 30 इज वेयर ऑलमोस्ट ऑल ऑफ दीज कंपनीज वुड बी ट्रेडिंग. शांति स्पिनटेक्स को कंपैरेबल बताया, वो भी अराउंड 28 पे है. जिंदल वर्ल्ड वाइड 8 पे. So again, doesn't seem like the company has left any value on the table for new people to come in. And जो इनका फैब्रिक डिवीजन है वो अभी चालू भी नहीं हुआ है, so I don't know how that will be valued. उनका फैब्रिक डिवीजन चालू होना है. इनफैक्ट जो मोस्टली DRHP में पिक्चर्स हैं वो भी कहीं और से डाली हुई हैं, because their fabric division is not started yet. So again, on that note, I don't think it's a fixed price issue. बड़ा इशू है, like at least for a fixed price, it's a 26 CR issue. And with no visibility into moat or growth, it doesn't seem like investable, at least at this moment of time. And I would be completely avoiding this issue as well. So having covered that, maybe अभी अंश की भी हमने बात कर ली है. सो हमने 3 कंपनीज की बात कर ली है. हमने स्वीट ड्रीम्स की बात कर ली है, कलाना इस्पात की बात कर ली है, एंड अभी अंश की बात कर ली है. Maybe now we'll go and talk about a Mainboard listing. एक Mainboard कंपनी आ रही है नेक्स्ट वीक, Manba Finance, उसकी बात करते हैं. It's a 150 CR issue, so seems like a very small issue. In fact, this will be smaller than the SME issue opening next week, Sahastra, which is very interesting and something which has a lot of undercurrent going for it. उसकी भी next week cover करेंगे, but for this week we are covering Manba Finance, 150 CR issue. The company is majorly a NBFC, giving loans for 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, etc. So Tanmay, do you want to go ahead and talk about Manba Finance?
Is my voice audible?
Yes.
So Manba Finance Limited is a leading two-wheeler financer. So their 95% plus AUM comes from vehicle financing, and they have recently entered EV vehicle financing. So they're out of their total 930 crore AUM, around 6% is the EV portfolio. Total adding both EV and the ICE vehicles, it's close to 97.5%, and rest 2% is personal loans, top-up loans, so which they have recently started. They have launched new products. So this company is basically working in Maharashtra, Gujarat, and four more states. So this company has, I think, 75% of the AUM from Maharashtra, 15-20% from Gujarat, and rest from the four states. So this company is basically raising 151 crores and complete fresh issue. So they are raising for augmenting the capital for our future needs. So this company did a revenue of 133 crores in FY23 and PAT of around 16.6 crores. And FY24 revenue was 192 crores and PAT was around 31 crores. So this company has shown peers of Arman Financial, Mass Financial, Muthoot Capital, but they have priced the issue almost above them or at par. Means I feel 10% premium valuation to their peers. So this company is coming at a price to book value of 2.25x. So I feel that they could have made the issue more attractive. But if I add the new capital and the next year expected PAT is coming around 42 crores. See, this company is basically growing at around 33% CAGR, and management is confident that we will maintain this similar trajectory going forward. So considering that next year PAT can be around 42 crores and this 150 crore new rates, out of which the LM fees will get reduced. And so on, if I add the net worth, add the new raise and the PAT of next year in the net worth, so they have priced it still at par it is. So if I consider the upside, so around 25-30% it's coming. So if I consider the 2.1x book value on FY25 earnings, which is at par at the peers, means completely average the peers. So the listing in is coming around 25-30%. So I'll come to its NPA. So its GNPA, gross non-performing asset, is at 3.95% and NNPA is 3.16%. I think it is worst in the industry. Arman has, I think, 1.2%. Muthoot is at 2%, and I think Finserv is also, I think, around 1% only. So the asset quality is not that great. And what I can see is just before IPO, they have entered 3 new states with 1 or 2 branches or few dealerships, and they have also added this new product, personal loans, top-up loans. I personally feel that if they wanted to make a niche in the two-wheeler financer, which they're already, so why to over diversify or take your concentration out from your hero product? So I personally feel कि ठीक है यार, थोड़ा सा और स्कोप छोड़ सकते थे. And its LM is Hem Securities. So I'll just talk on the track record of Hem Securities. इन्होंने आज तक 3 आईपीओ लाए मेन बोर्ड में. एक आया 2011 में जो 20% डिस्काउंट पे लिस्ट हुआ था. 2013 में इन्होंने एक टेक्सटाइल कंपनी लाई थी. आई थिंक दैट इशू वाज, आई थिंक, वर्स्ट इशू फ्रॉम 2000 से 2024 के बीच, वर्स्ट इशू एवर. इट लिस्टेड एट 70% डिस्काउंट. तो ये 2013 के बाद इन्होंने 2018 में 18 या 19 में दिनेश इंजीनियर्स करके एक नई कंपनी का आईपीओ लाया था. अच्छी कंपनी थी, बट द आईपीओ गॉट कैंसल ड्यू टू अंडर सब्सक्रिप्शन. तो यार मतलब ठीक है, थोड़ा और अच्छा प्राइसिंग कर सकते थे. और मतलब ऑन पेपर कंपनी अच्छा है और ग्रोथ प्रोस्पेक्ट्स भी है, बट आई गॉट 2 DMs इन माय ट्विटर हैंडल दैट this guy do some wrong things after the payment of installments. तो थोड़ा सा लोगों को इशू था कि सर आप बोलो कि ये इश्यूज चलते कंपनी का. तो ओवरऑल ठीक ठाक इशू है, बहुत भरेगा, मतलब छोटे साइज का, छोटे प्राइस का इशू है, चल जाएगा ये 20-25-30% गेन देके जाएगा. बट आई एम नॉट मच इंटरेस्टेड इन कीपिंग दिस फॉर लॉन्ग टर्म. और क्या होगा अभी, ये नए फंड के साथ इनका क्रिसिल का रेटिंग भी अपग्रेड होगा अगले 6-8 महीने में. इनका इक्विटी कैपिटल बढ़ेगा. इनका इनके सारे डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के चैनल डिस्पर्समेंट्स बढ़ेंगे तो ग्रोथ तो आएगा इसमें, फॉर श्योर आएगा। बट आई फील लिस्टिंग इन 30% 25% हो जाए तो उसके बाद सब कुछ प्राइस्ड हो जाएगा। तो आई एम नॉट मच, मतलब एवरेज एवरेज सा इशू है, ठीक ठाक है, इतना कुछ ग्रेट इशू नहीं है।
Got it. So that was our review of Manba Finance. आपने एंकर बुक देखी क्या तन्मेश की? एनी अपडेट ऑन द एंकर बुक?
कुछ नहीं, टाइम पास एंकर बुक है, सारे नॉर्मल नाम है।
Got it. So again, having said this, this is the first IPO of M Securities on Mainboard after a long, long time. They have a very good repute on the SMEs, but SME and Mainboard are slightly different, so keep that in mind. And it's a smaller side company, so 600 crore की market cap पे आ रही है, 150 crore का issue है, and 150 crore का issue on Mainboard, so allotment will be very, very, very difficult, even with the minimum sort of GMP, it would shoot up. So definitely keep this in mind. Having said that, I'm probably looking to avoid this issue. Main board पे मैं probably नहीं डालूंगा. I will use it somewhere else. The next 2-3 companies that we are talking about, two of them are pretty decent.
One point, Manish, just on this,
Yeah.
and maybe it's also a question for Tanmay. I had seen one thing in Manba is that there's been a spike in other income this year, and that included like some one time, I think, where they sold maybe some of their loans or their book to some asset restructuring companies, and that was not there in the last 2 years. So their ROE looks very good this year because it adds like some 10 CR to the PAT. That should, I guess, not be there. It sort of adds to the negativity in my view because their ROE looks like it's 20%, but the correct ROE is probably lower. Again, I'm not sure if you
Sir,
take
I
that
think
into account or not.
I'll be very honest on this. See, कंपनी मैं कुछ नहीं है करना जैसा, मतलब आई डोंट फील दैट दिस इज एन एक्चुअली एन इन्वेस्टेबल बिजनेस। बट क्या है, अभी लिस्टिंग इन हो जाएगा, सो वही बोल रहा हूँ मैं, लिस्टिंग इन के लिए लगाओ, मिलना तो नहीं है इसमें, मतलब तो कंफर्म चीज, आप 50 स्लॉट लगाओ को मिलना नहीं है। तो वही है कि छोड़ दो, लिस्टिंग के बाद छोड़ दो, मतलब बैक में फिनट्रेड का जैसा हाल हुआ था ना, सेम इसमें रिपीट होगा। वो कुछ मतलब खास कंपनी नहीं है। एंड मैनेजमेंट जब बात कर रहा है ना, तो ऐसा लगता है कि ये कुछ छुपा रहे हैं या फिर जो चीज बात करने में उनको उतना कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं आ रहा है। और वही है ना कि थोड़ा सा एथिकल इश्यूज भी है, कस्टमर्स हैव गिवन मी वेरी निगेटिव रिव्यू ऑफ द कंपनी। दोनों बॉम्बे बेस्ड कस्टमर्स थे, अलग अलग लोग थे, तो बोले सर बहुत गलत करती है, सब कुछ पेमेंट करने के बाद भी बहुत हमको परेशान किया इन्होंने, ऐसा वैसा। तो ठीक है, मतलब आई एम नॉट मच, मतलब मैं बहुत बेरिश हुआ आईपीओ पे, बट ठीक है, लिस्टिंग इनके लिए किसको लगाना लगा सकते हो।
Got it. But yeah, keep that in mind as well. Having said that, we have covered the review of one main board, which is मनबा फाइनेंस। उसके अलावा हमने 3 एसएमईज की भी बात कर ली, स्वीट ड्रीम्स, कलाना इस्पात एंड अवी अंश। इसके बाद हम जो नेक्स्ट कंपनी है उसकी बात करेंगे, फीनिक्स की। सो मे बी Rohit, do you want to go ahead and talk about Phoenix? Just to set it up, Phoenix is a B2B agri commodity business. 36 CR का issue है with 7 CR OFS. Didn't look super investable to me, so should be short, but unless you have a
Yeah,
different view.
it'll be as short as your intro, I think, for this company. So I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't spend a lot of time on this. I could make out in 10 minutes that this is not worth investing. So these guys are a B2B exporter of agri products. It's a B2B business trading dhanda. They primarily export to Bangladesh. 98% of their revenue is exporting and 98% of that goes to Bangladesh. They do some small, for namesake, they say they do some jute bag and some cold storage rental, but those are 1% of their business. So it is just an exporter of agri products. You cannot view it as anything else. They're raising the funds are for some working capital needs, and they're trying to invest in some subsidiary that will make oil. Now again, that subsidiary means you're not getting 100% of the subsidiary, you're getting 50% of the subsidiary. So again, how that has been decided is super unclear. Honestly, like the top line growth, fine, it looks okay, but they have 550 crore revenue with like 5 CR of bottom line, like 1% margin. It's a negative cash flow biz, which you can imagine if, there are issues. Like I said, majority of their business goes to Bangladesh. And we know that in the last month or so, there have been a lot of issues between India and Bangladesh. It will all the more affect the biz if they are negative cash flow. It will just hamper the cash flows even more. It's coming at 22 PE, which just doesn't make any sense to me. Agri trading businesses sit at 10 to 12 PE and not more than that. I also heard that they couldn't fill up the anchors, which is again a very, very big red flag. The only positive is there is a gray market premium, which means that subscriptions will get diverted here. But to be honest, there is I mean, so far all the issues we have spoken doesn't look like anything is really worth applying for this week. So I don't know if there's maybe Sweet Dreams is okay, but other than that, nothing really looks very applicable. So I don't know what difference it will make if this takes subscription or something else takes subscription. But let's hear the last couple of reviews and see if there is something there. But I'm definitely avoiding this, not coming close to this.
Yeah, that was the short and sweet review of Phoenix. Again, मैंने भी पढ़ा था और सोचा था कि why, because I was looking, the valuation also seemed pretty high, right? Where have they valued? Did you see कि कितनी PE पे आ रहा है?
22 P.
22 PE for a business, for a uh, trading business, B2B trading,
Yeah.
didn't make much sense. So yeah, Phoenix Overseas is a void from my end. So we have covered like 5 companies. Didn't like everything has its own issues, which we have kind of highlighted. With this, we'll kind of go to the next 2 issues, which are rather decent, which I was the most excited about. So सबसे पहले Wool 3D की बात करेंगे. Yes, do you want to go and cover Wool 3D just to set it up? Wool 3D is a decent sized issue. The company is raising like 25 CR again, 4 CR OFS, 21 CR fresh issue. It provides 3D printing solutions. An interesting tidbit, ये company जो है वो Shark Tank पे भी आई थी. It came on Shark Tank and Aman Gupta had invested 40 lakhs if I'm not wrong in this company at 2%. Shark Tank के वीडियो में आपको इसका बहुत अच्छा डिस्क्रिप्शन मिल जाएगा. Very quick 10-15 minute view of what the company does. But yes, do you want to go ahead and cover it?
श्योर. तो वॉल 3D की बात कर रहे हैं हम. तो बेसिकली दे आर एंगेज इनटू बिजनेस ऑफ प्रोवाइडिंग 3D प्रिंटिंग सॉल्यूशंस, जिसमें देयर कोर ऑफरिंग्स की बात करूं मैं अगर, तो एक तो आ गया हार्डवेयर, जिसमें 3D प्रिंटर्स, 3D स्कैनर्स, लेजर एनग्रेवर्स, 3D पेन्स बेचते हैं ये लोग. देन द सेकंड वन इज कंज्यूमेबल्स, विच आर 3D रेजिन्स एंड 3D फिलामेंट्स. 3D फिलामेंट्स मटेरियल होता है जो 3D प्रिंटिंग में यूज करा जाता है और वो प्रिंटर के अंदर डलता है. 3D रेजिन इज अनदर लिक्विड मटेरियल जो किसी भी चीज को सॉलिडिफाई करके 3D शेप बना देता है यूजिंग लाइट. देन दे हैव सर्विसेज विच इज 3D प्रोटोटाइपिंग, जिसमें प्रोटोटाइप बनाते हैं वो लोग अपने क्लाइंट्स के लिए, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, इंजीनियरिंग एटसेट्रा सर्विसेज के लिए. अदर सर्विसेज में उनका सपोर्ट एंड मेंटेनेंस एंड रिपेयर वगैरह होता है. तो ये तो कंपनी करती है. और इसके ऊपर से दे हैव कोलैबोरेशंस विद 3D प्रिंटर ब्रांड्स, जिसमें वो लोग डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर का रोल प्ले करते हैं विद लीडिंग ब्रांड्स लाइक फ्लैश फोर्ज, बैम्बू लैब, एल्गो, फ्रोजन एटसेट्रा. अगर मैं फाइनेंशियल परफॉर्मेंस की बात करूं तो कंपनी ने FY23 में 40 करोड़ का टॉप लाइन करा है एंड 5 करोड़ का 40 करोड़ का टॉप लाइन किया है इन FY24 एंड 5 करोड़ का बॉटम लाइन किया है इन FY24. बट सेम पैट FY23 पे 2 करोड़ था, तो देयर इज क्वाइट अ राइज इन पैट. एंड जो अभी करंट पी जो है इसका बेस्ड ऑन FY24 अर्निंग्स, आई थिंक करंटली इट्स वैल्यूड एट अ पी ऑफ 19-20 टाइम्स, बट FY23 पे दैट्स 40 टाइम्स. एंड ये मैं FY23 के स्पेसिफिकली इसलिए हाईलाइट कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि मार्जिन्स काफी बड़े हैं इनके, विच आई डाउट इज सस्टेनेबल एंड हाईली कॉम्पिटिटिव इंडस्ट्री है. तो नॉट श्योर अबाउट व्हाट वैल्यूएशन दे विल गेट, क्योंकि बहुत फ्रेगमेंटेड मार्केट है. तो बेसिकली पूरा प्राइस कर रखा है. बट आई थिंक व्हाट आई थिंक इज कि एटलीस्ट यहाँ से भी in future FY25, talking about FY25, at least what I have heard from few sources is कि they are good to do 8 to 9 crores of PAT in FY25. तो लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए लोग पार्क कर सकते हैं, बट अगेन नो आइडिया अबाउट व्हाट वैल्यूएशन मार्केट विल गिव, व्हाट मल्टीपल मार्केट विल गिव टू दिस काइंड ऑफ बिजनेस.
Yes, what do you think about the industry? Because it's a niche industry. Growth aspect क्या है industry का? Anything on that part per se? Or is it something which again is slightly unclear?
या स्लाइटली अनक्लियर, क्योंकि 3D प्रोटोटाइपिंग वगैरह इज नॉट दैट हार्ड एंड मेजरली तो इनका फिर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन वगैरह का काम है, जिसमें एट द एंड तो प्रोडक्ट्स ही बेच रहे हैं.
Got it. Because I've been hearing for quite some time कि 3D printing आएगी, 3D printing will kind of cover like disrupt a lot of things, but it's something which has been going for the last 8 to 10 years. I haven't seen anything happening out
Yeah,
loud. So I was slightly more concerned. So, and are there
correct.
leaders in their area, or is there any bigger organized play that you know of, or is it mostly this like unorganized play?
No, I don't know any players which are currently in the same business.
Got it.
Well, I have not
And
read of any.
got it, got it. And just to cover, this is a Heme Securities issue. So LM
Correct.
repute is decent. Heme Finlease is the market maker for this. So that's one good thing about the issue. So again, this can be invested for listing gains if there is enough GMP. And again, I know shouldn't be looking at GMP as the only metric, but again, that's one thing which I feel about this business. You can go about this, but again, not a long-term view because difficult to know how the market will view this. With this, unless Tanmay, Rohit, you guys have anything to add on this, or we'll go to the last issue and cover the last issue for the day.
Nothing from my side.
Perfect. With this, we'll talk about Rapid Walls. This is the company which I was the most excited about, and I again like most excited because couldn't find anything else exciting in this batch of IPOs the next 3 days that we'll be applying. So with that, we'll cover Rapid Walls. It's a 30 CR IPO. The company manufactures wall solutions. So maybe I'll go to Tanmay to talk about Rapid Walls. What is it, Tanmay?
Hello. Sir, आवाज आ रहा है?
Yes.
हाँ. So Rapid Valve is a manufacturer of valve solutions such as ball, gate, globe, butterfly valves, marine valves. They are making valves from this ferrous and non-ferrous materials. So the application of this valves is in like they have some critical applications like hydrocarbon, chemical, mining. So ठीक लग रहा है on the business side. So this company is basically raising 36.4 crores. So out of which they are doing some capex, थोड़ा renovation कर रहे हैं, थोड़ा debt repay कर रहे हैं. They have also kept small portion for inorganic expansion and the rest is GCB. This company did a 16 crore revenue and PAT of just 45 lakhs and FY24 the revenue got I think 120% jump 36-37 crore का revenue किया और 45 लाख का पैट जम होके 44.3 crores हो जाता है मतलब ऑलमोस्ट 9.5 times. So this company is coming at a market cap of 115 crores. तो मतलब FY24 पे 27 टाइम पे आ रहा है. तो मतलब थोड़ा सा सस्ता कर सकते थे. एंड इफ आई वेंट ऑन FY25 मतलब ज्यादा गाइडेंसेस वगैरह मैंने तो देखी नहीं अभी तक पढ़ी नहीं है बट जो मैं ग्रोथ प्रोजेक्ट कर पा रहा हूँ उसके हिसाब से कुछ 15-16-17 टाइम पे किया इन्होंने प्राइस. बट क्या है अभी और एक चीज बोलूंगा मैं इसमें प्रमोटर होल्डिंग पहले से बहुत ज्यादा डाइल्यूटेड है. पोस्ट इशू आई थिंक 50% ही है बाकी था डाइल्यूट कर चुके हैं. तो मतलब देखो द बिजनेस इज इन अ बिट क्रिटिकल इंडस्ट्रीज तो इसको थोड़ा बेटर पी मिलेगा बट वही है ना कि फॉरवर्ड में जाओ तो मेरे को 20-30% के ऊपर स्कोप दिखता नहीं इसमें बट थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है मुझे कंपनी और फ्यूचर में थोड़ी डेवलपमेंट हो सकती है बट हाँ वही है कि पैट अचानक बढ़ गया है इतना ये मार्जिन उनका जो 12-13% का है वो सस्टेन होगा कि नहीं या फिर यहाँ से और स्केल कर पाएंगे या नहीं तो वो सारी चीजें बट आई फील कंसिडरिंग द प्लान्स दे हैव द केपेक्स रिनोवेशन थोड़ा डेट कम कर रहे हैं ठीक लग रहा है ये मतलब ऐसा एक बोलते हैं ना रीजनेबल लिस्टिंग गेन वाला बट लॉन्ग टर्म में कर सकता है चीज मतलब थोड़ी चीजें अभी इसका पोस्ट लिस्टिंग और क्लैरिटी आएगा और LM इसका श्रेणी है ठीक ट्रैक अच्छा ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है और रिकव आजकल अच्छा हो गया उसका भी ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड तो ठीक करेगा ये मतलब 20-30-40% लिस्टिंग गेन वाला मामला देखते हैं और लॉन्ग टर्म में भी ठीक कर सकता है बट इतना कि वैल्यूएशन थोड़ा महंगा रखा है 27 टाइम से थोड़ा सस्ता रख सकते थे. और
Tanmay, I have a question here. I was looking 2x jump in revenue, 5x jump in PAT margin. PAT margin around 2.5% था, इस बार 11% हो गया, जिसकी वजह से
हाँ
आपका
और नहीं मैं वैल्यू में बोला 9.5 टाइम्स तो 45 लाख का 4.3 करोड़ हुआ तो जंप बहुत ज्यादा आया है बट जो ये इंडस्ट्री है ना सर इसको ये इतना पैट करता है और ये 15-16% तक भी स्केल कर सकते हैं बट वही है ना कि इतना सडन जब एक साल में कैसे वो 2-3 साल में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होना चाहिए था और बहुत चीजें ना सर इसमें अनक्लियर है बट मेरे को सेगमेंट इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है ये.
गॉट इट. सो एक और क्वेश्चन है मेरा. आपके हिसाब से इसमें कुछ मोट है, लाइक व्हाट इज लाइक द डिफरेंशिएटर? कैन एनीवन मेक वॉल्स और एनी रीड ऑन दैट पार्ट?
हाँ सर तो देखो जब बॉल में बोल रहा हूँ ना तो लोग इसको श्री बालाजी से कंपेयर कर रहे हैं तो क्या हो रहा है वो ना एक बेसिकली कंपोनेंट मेकर है ये थोड़ा बॉल भी थोड़ा सा नीचे इसमें बट वही होता है ना कि आपका अगर प्रोडक्ट बहुत अच्छा है और आपका अगर क्लाइंटेल के साथ अच्छा रिलेशनशिप हो गया और उनको क्वालिटी पसंद आई, तो ये रिलेशनशिप बहुत लॉन्ग टर्म होते हैं। जो बड़े ओईएम्स होते हैं या फिर जो कंपनीज होती है, बड़ी फर्म्स होती है, वो नहीं चाहते कि अपना रॉ मटेरियल सप्लायर या फिर कंपोनेंट सप्लायर चेंज करते रहे। तो वही चीज है कि अगर ये देखने में तो ठीक लग रहा है, अच्छा लग रहा है, बट वही सर ये कंपनी पे ना थोड़ा लैक ऑफ क्लैरिटी है। तो थोड़ा क्लैरिटी आ जाए तो पोस्ट लिस्टिंग इसके ऊपर थोड़ा और ज्यादा डिस्कशन कर सकते हैं। एज ऑफ नो मेरे पास भी बहुत सारी चीजों का जवाब नहीं है, ऐसा चीज है।
Got it. No, yeah, only fair. So that was with respect to the last issue for the day that we were covering. I was looking through the comments. एक बार मैं comments देख रहा था. If anyone has any pointers, please feel them in the chat. We will cover all of them. But yeah, एक question था कि बाइक को ग्रीन टेक बोल गए. So बाइक को ग्रीन टेक हमने लास्ट वीक कर लिया था because we thought it was ending last week. तो अगर आपको बाइक को ग्रीन टेक का रिव्यू सुनना है तो YouTube पे है, आप YouTube चैनल पे जाके सुन सकते हो. ऊपर YouTube चैनल पिन भी है, सो आप उसको फॉलो करके उसमें रिव्यू सुन सकते हो. Having said that, that's the 7 issues or the 8 open issues that we have in the first 2-3 days. So what we'll do is, again, don't go by what we are saying, but we'll kind of cover what we are planning to do in terms of the अलॉटमेंट कि हम किस कंपनी की को टारगेट कर रहे हैं. सो मे बी तन्मय, रोहित, आई नो यस यू डोंट डू आईपीओ, सो आपको छोड़ते हैं. बट तन्मय, रोहित, व्हाट यू आर प्लानिंग टू डू फॉर दिस वीक? आई वुड प्रोबेबली बी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिंग मनी. सम आई विल बी अप्लाइंग रैपिड एंड स्वीट ड्रीम्स एंड वॉल 3D in that order. Again, we'll have to see कि exactly कैसे apply होता है, but those are the 3 companies which I will be avoiding Manba because again it's so small that would be difficult to get any allocation. But again, it changes. But do you guys have anything to add, anything in terms of your review, your priority list?
I think it's very similar. I haven't studied Wall 3D, so going by what Yash said, it doesn't look like there's too much upside, but I'll also just make a point of view on that. I like Rapid Oils and I think Sweet Dreams as option 2. Yeah, that's my view.
तन्मय,
सर मैं तो ऐसा है ना कि मनबा में अप्लाई करने मतलब करने में मजा नहीं आएगा और किया तो मिलेगा कुछ नहीं। तो वही है, आई एम थिंकिंग कि सब कुछ ये इसमें डाल दे, वो स्वीट ड्रीम्स में डाल दे, बिकॉज वही है, रैपिड में भी सब्सक्रिप्शन बहुत ओवर द रूफ चला जाएगा। उसमें तो भी साइज है थोड़ा बहुत, मतलब सच बोलो ना, अगले सेट ऑफ आईपीओ में कुछ नहीं इंटरेस्टिंग। उसके जो अगला वीक का और एक जो अपन अगला स्पेस करेंगे उसमें जो केआरएन आएगा, सहस्त्र आएगा, वो थोड़े अच्छे इश्यूज लग रहे हैं। ये इधर टाइम पास होगा, मतलब वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम है, पूरा कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला इसमें।
हाँ, मेरा यही पॉइंट था यार कि नेक्स्ट वीक जो है ना, ये शुरुआत के 3 दिन इट डजंट सीम इंटरेस्टिंग एट ऑल. But yeah, with that we kind of covered all the reviews that we have from our side. Anything else that you guys have? I'm just going through the comments to see if there's anything which seems
Also,
interesting.
Manish wanted to
Yeah,
highlight we also have a video of Rapid Walls. I'll send you the video. You just pin in your comments so that guys can see what they are really into.
श्योर. आप एक बार रैपिड वॉल्स का वो इसी स्पेस के कमेंट्स में डाल दो ना, वो वीडियो पोस्ट कर
Yes,
दो so people can see.
because it looks very interesting to me. I think IPO though I won't apply, but I'll buy after listing.
Got it. So that was with respect to the 7 issues, 8 issues that have came. We will also post this on our YouTube so you guys can listen to the companies at your own pace. But yeah, thank you so much for joining today. We have done Saturday first half as a lot of requests were doing about more on Saturday first half. We'll see how the time evolves. But yeah, thank you so much for joining everyone. Have a good day.
Thanks, everyone.